Gentlemen, this is Tim Ferriss calling.
No, it is
Big
not.
Fan.
Get the
Yes,
hell.
it is.
You guys are real characters. No. Hello, Timothy.
Good evening. Gennady Vaynerchuk. Nice to see you. And my question is for Ray. Ray, I'm so excited by what you're sharing with the world, and it's of such great value. I have to ask you, because our conversations have been so impactful for me. Could you give any advice to people who are watching and listening to this who have struggled with or struggle with depression or bipolar disorder, challenges of that type?
Yeah, as you know, I'm an expert on it. I have a son who's bipolar, and he's gone through the whole thing. And so, I can give, a lot. And by the way, he's totally successful. He's totally together, and he went through the journey. He did Paul Dalio is his name. He did a movie called Touched with Fire. I recommend you see Touched with Fire. Anyway, it conveys it. And so I'm an expert. I mean, we did this.
I'm listening.
Okay, so if you're first realize that insanity is at the brink of genius. In other words, that there's quite a lot. It's just almost a tuning thing. The thinking differently, that creativity. So, okay, it's a tuning thing. And then what? Okay, so the advice is when you go through the bipolar, first, to recognize that you have to go along with the program, to follow other people. You have to take your medicine. The things that the rules were, take the medicine, get to bed at before 11 o'clock every night, because there's a biorhythm thing that's going on. Make sure, in his case, meditation helped him a lot. It helped him keep centered. And most importantly, don't do substance abuse in any kind of way, okay? Keep ultra clean. And so those were the things. But
would that be difficult with the medicine part, step one, because you could go too far with it?
No, the medicine is a tuning thing.
Understood.
You start in.
You're talking about other things.
So what they do is they knock you with the medicine to try to get you centered and control. Yep. It produces a numbness. Mm-hmm. That numbness has the effect of you don't want the numbness. You say, I want my life. Mm-hmm. Also, when you have to understand what a kick it is to have manias. Like it's a super high, and so you're denied that kind of super high, and so that's a very difficult thing to get past. But when you start to crash enough, as we talk about failure and crashing, this is super crashing. Mm-hmm. And then you say, okay, I don't want it anymore. So you have to realize that to tune that medicine is going to take a while. It's a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and it tunes it. And then, to be able to do that, to be able to realize that you will be more creative than ever. He's become incredibly creative because he can deliver on that other stuff. So when you start to realize that other people can do it.
Right.
That's the
punchline.
Tim
yes.
and I talk about this because it's an issue.
Yes.
Tim, talk to me.
No, I just wanted to elicit that because I'm sure there are people listening who can benefit from those recommendations. I've found that the going to bed by 11 or certainly before midnight, even though I've historically been a night owl, is a really effective intervention or preventative measure, like you mentioned. And the meditation, whether it's transcendental meditation or using an app like Headspace, is also a fantastic way to tune, like you said, the awareness of your emotional state so that you don't get carried away by the story that you tell yourself or the stories that you might tell yourself. So I agree with you. I just wanted to hear someone of your credibility expand on it a bit for people who are listening who might think that they're uniquely flawed in some way that's unfixable, that they're broken, because I just don't believe that to be the case, even though I've struggled with a lot of this
There's
myself.
No broken.
I just wanted to have you say it.
A very important thing is that you're probably gifted.
100,000%.
In other words, read the book Touched with Fire by Kay Jamison and all that. If you take the people, this is people who are the most creative people in the world. I mean, you could have Winston Churchill and I could list all of these unbelievably creative people who are bipolar, okay? So there's a big gift element. But it has to be managed.
Yes.
You have to get it tuned right. You know this, Tim, because you experience it. We experience it, And so to realize that also, that means that people who are not suffering from these challenges also have the ability to move beyond it. They should have tolerance of other people. They should have understanding so that they should be successful.
Tim,
Thank you for bringing that up.
Tim, first of all, thanks for calling. It makes this super rad and fun. Second of all, earlier I told Ray I was impressed with his hustle. He's showing up in many, many places. I also want to give you that accolade. First of all, thanks for coming the other day. Second of all, you're hustling. Like I can't avoid you. The book seems to be going well. How's it going?
It's going great. I appreciate it.
And let me just say something about the book, which is really cool. Because by coincidence, we're all talking about principles. So I wrote this book, which is, how to think about principles in general, and then my principles.
Yes.
And he immediately comes, same thing by coincidence. You got a book of a whole bunch of people's principles, essentially. That is, so it's fantastic.
Ray, do you want to destroy Tim's book sales? Do you want this to dominate Tim? How do you feel about that?
No, like Tim, man, we are in this thing together.
Get people, bundle packs.
Okay, bundle
wait a minute,
packs.
I'm going to join in too. Crushing It, come out January 30th on Amazon. Principles. I mean, like, we can go a 3-way pack. But Kim, did you see the girth of Tim's book?
Yeah, but it's a reference book.
I know. It's
okay.
I saw it.
It's not like you sit there.
I know you can consume it. Of course, the format was brilliant.
Right, and the curiosity that you might have. I wonder what that was.
But how about how good looking Tim is? We haven't talked about that part yet.
Okay, so Tim, what's your principle? I know what it is. Stoicism.
It is. That's a primary bedrock, and I think that also helps with the management of what we were talking about. And not making this up, the most frequently bought together with my book is Principles by Ray Dalio.
I love that. Hey, Tim. One of my favorite moves of all time in the thing that I'm fascinated about, which is attention, was during the height of TRL, P. Diddy would leave his office and go, I think he was Puff Daddy back then, and he would go to TRL while Carson was on the air. And Ray, this was a show, do you know what TRL was?
Yeah.
Okay, so, Carson Daly would be on. He would have the Britney Spears and the One Directions and the thing. Oh, not One Direction, excuse me, like 98 Degrees of the World. And it's funny how that slipped up. And that's funny. Anyway, nonetheless, he would have all these act-ons. And Puff Daddy would leave his office at Bad Boy, drive to Times Square, run up this elevator, the stairs, get on set, and run on set, hack the attention of the youth of America and to get the exposure. Tim calling this show right now is the P. Diddy move of 2017 in publishing personalities. Tim, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed by your strategies, and I love you very much.
Well, I love you guys too. I don't want to monopolize the conversation.
See ya.
But Ray, thank you for indulging the question, and I think it's really important. So I appreciate you putting it out in the world.
Take care, Timmy.
Thank you for bringing it up.
See ya.